make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that honors. When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of the Make We Talk program. We have with us tonight none other than one of Jamaica's youngest senator, a young lady who hails from the parish of St. James and who stand up for the younger set of Jamaicans. If you hear how she speaks in the parliament with such passion, she's one of Jamaica's youngest senators, as I said before. And she's also the president of the People's National Party Youth Organization. Senator, welcome to the program.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me, Jeffrey.
Senator, I get some good news that you're going to be you're running for St. Ann Northwest. Is it Northwest?
Yes, Northwest St. Ann. That's right.
So tell me some more about that.
Well, let me start off by saying that it's good to be back on the show. I hope everybody is doing well. For those who are in Jamaica, we know that the passage of Hurricane Beryl impacted many communities across the island, and so I hope everybody is doing well. I hope that people are recovering, and I hope that if we weren't adversely impacted, that we're doing everything we can to help those who were. So let me start there. I'm very happy to have been given the nod to run on a PNP ticket in Northwest St. Ann. So far, it's been an overwhelming response, overwhelmingly positive, I should say. I've been grateful to have been received so well by the good people of Northwest St. Ann. So far, I have picked up on some of the issues that people want addressed, and one of those primary asks have been quality representation. And so that's where I started, my campaign as the caretaker, with looking at the issues that people are really passionate about, people need addressed. And I started there. One of the first things that I spoke about is the quality of healthcare that is offered to the people of Northwest St. Ann. I'm not sure how many persons would have seen that video, but
yes, there was a problem with me downloading that video earlier on, Senator, because I wanted to show everybody the video.
Yes, I mean, it just highlights what has been happening and what exists in the constituency, and I think people are really calling out for somebody who will represent their interest and will make sure that their voice is heard. and that issues are resolved. And that's what I intend to do when I become the Member of Parliament in Northwest St. Anne. But so far, so good. I'm very thankful and I'm hopeful I can see a path to victory, and I look forward to serving the good people who live in Northwest St. Anne.
You see me, I'm smiling away, Senator. Is one of your good friends sent me a message a while ago. See, you happy now? Senator is on.
No, it's always a pleasure to be on this platform. Always.
Is our good friend Christopher Henry.
Hi, Chris. and just to say that Chris and the Patriots, they've been doing some wonderful work in helping, especially people in the southern part of the island to recover. So let me just plug that if you are able to contribute, they still have a drive going. Chris, if you can leave the information in the comments, that would be good, so that persons can also join in this effort and contribute.
Or Chris, if you can give me a call right now to tell us some more about the drive that you have going on, like our Senator is on. Or as a matter of fact, maybe I should send you the link for you to come on and just make it a bit more spicier since you're on watching us. I must welcome our good friend
as well.
Yes, he is. As a matter of fact, he came on the program about what? Before Hurricane came in, she was on the program talking to us.
Nice.
We have joining us now, Senator, our good friend Luke George Cooke, human rights activist. Luke, welcome to the program.
Hey, Jeffrey, what go on?
I'm here looking at living like Mutty Perkins.
Senator, see me Saturday and pass me because I'm not good looking, so I have nothing to say to her.
Oh my gosh, no.
Senator, I give big speech, Senator, the on platform, I give big speech, so I guess the ugly cousin them have to stay at the back.
I can assure you that that was never the intention, Luke.
Yes,
when
and the gents they come in at them red clocks. Me never see me have been with bad man. Sorry, me never have on a green clock, so I make it look like a punset, yeah.
No, man, next time you must come hug me up because we're friends. Don't do that to me, man.
Yeah, Senator, but before we go any further, as what you said, you have been received quite, a warm welcome in the constituency of Northwest St. Anne. Let me ask you something, because there was a video that was circulating on social media, and I got the video. It's a picture I don't have the video to show to our viewers and other people who are watching us from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean. It's a video where you're speaking about the healthcare sector in St. Anne. Tell us some more about that. And good afternoon, Miss P. You're in St. Anne. Call us as soon as you can about what is going on down there too. Go ahead, Senator.
So the issue of healthcare, it was actually my first day as aspirant in the constituency, and I was doing a walkthrough. And while I was on the walk, I saw a response from the incumbent, and she spoke. She was essentially hitting back at Dr. Dawes, our spokesperson on health, when he was, bringing to light some of the issues that exist in the public healthcare system. And I found it quite strange because here you have the Runaway Bay Health Clinic where the roof is leaking in some parts, the conditions are poor. I'm not telling you the truth, Jeffrey, because I had to go and look for myself. They had a big tree that was outside, right? And that is what many of the patients, many of them mothers who were coming for their checkups, that's what they had to use to shelter from sun and rain. And they happened to cut down that tree. So what happened is that there was no shelter. There's limited seating for the mothers. And I found it quite hypocritical that here you had the MP talking about, healthcare, when right there in the constituency, there are issues that need to be addressed. And so I called on her. I called upon those who need to make these changes as well to really look into the healthcare facilities, not just the hospitals, but the clinics that exist, because they do serve hundreds and thousands of people. The Northeast Regional Health Authority, they made a statement and said, yes, they have recognized the issue and they intend to fix it soon. Now, what has happened is that in Runaway Bay, many moons ago, when Dayton Campbell was the MP, he started the work of establishing a new health center. So all the work was done. The procurement was done. The plans were drawn up. The land was procured. I remember at the time, Fenton Ferguson, he was the minister, and he came in and they did all of the handing over. So everything was done. The groundwork was laid. Those plans got shafted once we changed government and once the MP changed. And so I thought it ridiculous that the MP was now coming to say after so many years that they're still moving towards and they hope to do this. And I have a problem with that because oftentimes we allow politics to prevent people from moving towards progress. And it should not be in a democracy like ours that politics prevents people from moving towards progress. And so simply, I was saying, let's advance the plans. Let's advance the plans and get a facility that is fit for purpose where people can be comfortable while receiving the services that they need. So that's one of the things that I would love to see happen. If the MP has no intentions of doing it or it's not able to be done, I look forward to doing that, right? The Senans Bay Hospital, which is not in my constituency, but it does serve a number of persons. It does serve persons right across St. Anne. The conditions there woefully inadequate. And it's similar to many of our hospitals across the island. People can't get a bed. They don't have the personnel to operate the equipment. So overall, we see that there's a necessary shakeup that has to happen in the healthcare sector. And in rural communities especially, I believe in a community-based intervention. So that includes looking at preventative care as well as looking at cases where people come into the hospital and need emergency attention. We have to ensure that we have adequate personnel to go out and do the checks, especially for the older persons who might not be able to come to a facility. It's good when you have them in the community addressing those needs. So that's how I envision, us uplifting the healthcare center, especially in the healthcare system, especially in St. Anne. It's something that needs urgent attention, and it's something that I will continue to speak out on. They say it's liar telling about this and that, but the facts speak for themselves, and there are persons who are using the system who have pointed out these inadequacies, and I think that Jamaicans deserve to be heard and not gaslit when they talk about issues.
You know something, Senator? I'm to be blamed for this because I knew you were coming on, but I was on the road until late. And I should have all of these things ready because I had the video and everything, but the video was a bit taking a problem to download as we speak. What she's saying is absolutely true because when she did that video, for some reason, she said it directly to me, not for some reason. She said it directly to me it was also on her social media platform. Another earthquake 3.1. Hold on there for me.
Oh, gee.
Senator, tell us some more the plans that you have for the young people of that constituency. Let me figure out if this news is true. Go ahead for me, please.
Sure. So young people, there are a lot of young people in Northwest St. Anne. One of the cries that I've heard already is opportunity. They want opportunities, and that looks like educational opportunities, job opportunities, other opportunities to earn and really make a living for themselves and their families. So one of the things that I have to place at the forefront is ensuring that the young people in Northwest St. Anne have the support if they want to attend educational institutions. I know that's a given right across constituencies, but you want to bolster that some more because you cannot over explain the impact of having even one young person in a family attend a tertiary institution. It does a lot for that family, and so that's something that I want to ensure is in place to have more young people having access to that opportunity. We know that tertiary institutions are not cheap. And so we might have to go a little bit further than just, a small stipend by the MP. But we also want to see how we can involve private citizens, private companies as well to ensure that young people have access to these opportunities and can afford it. Second thing that I want to look at is entrepreneurship, right? Northwest St. Anne, it's a farming community. And many farming communities are in the constituency, and many of the young people are saying, oh, we don't want to be farmers. But there are some who see that farming can become a lucrative business. And so I want to ensure that they have the resources and they have the support to venture into agriculture and to really make a good living out of those activities. So when we talk about young people as well, it speaks to engagement. In the communities, we don't want the young people to just be sitting on the corner saying, oh, nobody now come talk to me, we don't see anybody. So as a young person myself, I understand that young people need activities. They need activities that will allow them to feel a part of their communities, that will allow them to feel a part of the country. And so training will be important. Sporting activities, we want to ensure that there's a place for young people to come together, to show their skills, to show their talents, and to build on them. So those are just some of the things that I envision happening for the young people in Northwest St. Anne. We want to ensure that they are skilled, we want to ensure that they are resourced, and we want to ensure that they are engaged.
Yes. So, Luke, you have a question for Senator. She is now vying for the seat in Northwest St. Anne.
No, Jeffrey, no question. And I would just ask Senator to continue to build out a platform of how we engage and really empower people to better participate in the development of their community. Because if there's any lesson to be learned from Beryl, is how ill-prepared communities are, because the government has sought to demote community participation. For instance, when you look at what is happening in Treasure Beach versus the next part of St. Elizabeth, is like a them and us. We choose who we give the distribution to, and then the other people suffer. Now, if you had community organization, strong community organization on the ground, it's easier to manage the distribution, because me would have known the Mass Joe live around at Tacoram, so Gabriel live up St. Andrew Mountain, so, and we travel those places. So when you look at it, what people need are representatives that are going to put people centrally at the core of their development, not a government that is locking up people for freedom of speech because you don't like, or you're going to the blogger yard and you see my water flowers in them house and you're going to terrorize the poor young man to stop talk, because all of a sudden nobody did tell us when Hitler came back in reincarnation in the person of Andrew Holness. I mean, if you're going to talk about people who are liable for speech, you can just look right in your cabinet. You can look at the Minister of Constitution and Legal Affairs. You can look at the former Minister of Information, him always a misinformed. You can look at people like your own Minister of Finance. And I could go on. I cannot believe that in this day and age, you're trying to shut up the Jamaican people. Then if this is not a dictator state, then what is, Jeffrey? And so you have to call on your bright, enlightened mind, like a Gabriela who spoke on Saturday, and I was able to, I happened to have been in the audience to listen. And I was down there skinning my teeth, because when I saw her, I thought about you, Jeffrey, and I said, sure, me can't even take out my camera and video Gabriela. Because when I time she a pop to moving up, I don't know if it was a white man move, but me still like a black man tonight. Jeffrey, I didn't want to talk to that tongues. But the fact of the matter is that, Jeffrey, I wish we, the Jamaican people, would become more engaged in our democracy, because our democracy is threatened. I mean, you started out by saying it's going to take $2 billion to repair Cornwall Regional. No doubt we need to have good hospitals in all our regions, and certainly what Gabriela has taken on. The thing is that what I find in Jamaica is how easy this government likes to tell everybody that they're a liar. When the Prime Minister is the liar in chief, he suffer from liaritis, and him don't make an apology about it. But it's not the liaritis that he suffer from, it's the donmanship to which this country is going.
Yeah.
and it's going in a wrong direction. And enough of us are not saying, no more dictator, no more slave master. We are free people.
Yeah.
And so we have to invest in protecting the democracy. And people like the future belongs to Gabriela. It belongs to the Gabriela and the Dr. Hilton and on the. I wish Milton Samuda did stop playing the politics, because he's not a guy that I really dislike. But you know, you're gonna go dig up, you're gonna go dig up my golden citizenship when everybody over here said still a hold on pan for them one. Come on, country deserve better than this.
So,
The country
Luke,
deserve better than this.
when you have a young senator who a lot of Jamaican look up to, a lot of younger Jamaicans, and even the older Jamaicans look up to her, because when she gives such speech, she gives a speech with passion and every fiber of her being to speak about her young Jamaican. Senator, as what Luke said, we want you to expand some more on what you have planned for Northwest Senton, for the young people. Are you gonna approach certain people, as I will call them, of the Vumpa and the Vuvi, to make
Jeffrey,
sure that we can have a factory going for them or something? Yes, Luke?
Jeffrey, may I have a caution you with the senator, because you know what I see? Everything where the senator said tomorrow might become a JLP green paper. They take everything that you put out there and put a spin on it. They create nothing. They are not uniquely creative in their thinking. Jeffrey, the devastation, I want the senator to talk the truth. We could have stopped burial.
No.
But you mean that when you go to a shelter from your home, only water was there? So if you're diabetic, not even crackers? And you come out here and you're telling the people of Jamaica, Jamaica has recovered when our people are still living in darkness. The people in St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, still await pound a little 200 package of food a daytime. We're only not prepare. And you go home, Prime Minister, to a meal, right? You go home every evening and you are assured a meal. But the people's life that you should have made better are in darkness tonight. Let alone the people them can't find food, and you are going to disrupt their life because they can't even go to work.
But Jeffrey, if we can,
Go ahead, Luke. Go ahead.
I I like the direction that Luke took the conversation. Because the truth is, we are in July, and the hurricane season started June 1? And let us remember that the OPM falls under the Office of the Prime Minister, the OPM, which is responsible for disaster preparedness. And I saw the Minister of Local Government, Desmond Mackenzie, come out and say that we were prepared. And I don't understand how we draw that conclusion, because, like you said, Luke, many of the shelters woefully underprepared. Many of the agencies that should have been active underprepared. Even the OPM website, I was checking it for some numbers to put together to send out. The website was down. In a hurricane season, the website was down. So that in itself just shows how underprepared we were, not just a burial, but for the season, because we should be preparing for the hurricane season. We know that we're prone to hurricanes. So my thing is that the government, as I said, they're always trying to gaslight the people and come with PR and whatever, when the real people on the ground, they are facing these issues. Luke said it, people are in darkness. Days after burial, most of St. Anne did not have light. Even now, I have a long list of communities that still don't have light.
Senator,
and they're not seeing any JPS truck.
Senator, stick up in there. There's a lady from St. Anne who wants to speak to you. Caller, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, Miss Gabriel.
Good evening.
Yes, I am living in your constituency.
Okay.
So you have a vote right as well.
Thank you so much.
I must give that. Mr. Luke,
Me there, man, me there, you don't know me miss you.
Mr.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
didn't that this nigga fucking like me or stop that
Thank you,
part of me or
God.
stop and me have them dead off. But anyway, and I only cause say God after I mean I talk about that you know. But Miss Gabriel,
Yes.
me know I will not have power yet. But through your popularity, me have beg your favor. If you can just advocate for it right at Discovery Day,
Mm-hmm.
where there's no pedestrian crossing. Me I beg you, Mr. Lucian Jones, if you are here, somebody tell him, right where you left a comedy soldier camp to Puerto Rico, that's all. Me
Okay.
I beg you, we are beg, me I beg you no one stop pedestrian crossing. Everybody gone, Mrs. Denkia, something come pick right up with me. If I record your time sitting there, stone wash out like gone long time.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, me know that you're not power, but me ask you if you can take your popularity, not for just me, but for thousands of people, because you know the area and you know how it go. Nobody stop at that stoplight because the sign them are done and them no realize you want some sign for around the corner. If I have to tell them say you're approaching a
Pedestrian.
place, they can take time. And the next thing, there is no taxi stand now bus stop at Discovery Bay. And the next thing, there is no public toilet. So if you could, I'll do it, you know, he net
Hold on to me, Miss P. There's no public toilet.
eh?
There's no public toilet where?
In Discovery Bay, then there is no taxi now bus park in Discovery Bay.
All right, Miss P. Thank you for
And
calling.
we are begging the pedestrian crossing them. If it's possible, we are like a stoplight. But you know, if you can't get a stand to them because they never have money, don't go to buy a vote. We are begging.
Yeah.
No, nobody is dead open.
Miss P, by the way,
Right?
before I make you go, Silicon Valley,
Yeah. Silicon Valley, yes, the man go and tell CNN to have 900 shelter.
hold on there.
And this man, yes, I can tell Al Jazeera CNN say them have 900 shelter operating. And Desmond Mackenzie says 63. Matthews Samuel says 78. So we don't always want to believe.
All right, Miss P, thank you for calling in.
Right?
Yes, please.
Yeah, man. Jeffrey, call me, tell you.
Yes, sir.
Because I said, look at that.
Senator,
Yes, yes, Sister P. No, but look here, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, there is no joke in it, you know.
Yeah.
no, hold on,
When you talk about an hurricane, Jeffrey,
Look, hold on for me. I want to play a video. I want Senator Morris to see. Because we're trying to figure out which is the true figure. Desmond Mackenzie tell TVJ is 60. Matthew Samuel tell CNN is 780 something. The Prime Minister of Jamaica tell Al Jazeera is 900. Listen to this. Senator.
The number
Thank you,
of
caller.
shelters, we are close to now some 60 odd shelters across the country.
Those who are in low-lying areas, those who are in flood-prone areas, go to any of our 780 plus shelters.
We have 900 shelters right across the island. I would say that about 90% of them are mobilized and ready.
Something all right?
Something all right.
Hold on here. Let us replay this thing again. Luke, hold on. Listen to this.
The number of shelters, we are close to now some 60 odd shelters across the country.
Those who are in low-lying areas, those who are in flood-prone areas, go to any of our 780 plus shelters.
We have 900 shelters right across the island. I would say that about 90% of them are mobilized and ready.
Something all right?
something, all right? Yeah.
Senator, tell me something.
Jeffrey, you
Go ahead.
see, that video underscores exactly what I was saying. There is no central coordination for disaster preparedness or disaster response. I saw the Prime Minister visit a control center, and that looks good, but the video shows it clearly that they were not on the same page. And when you talk about, go again?
I said once a 60, once a 780.
Which is it? And then again, it comes back to the issue of preparedness. Luke said it, that people go to the shelters and some of them is only water. We have to remember, that people are leaving. They're already hesitant about leaving their homes, right? So the least you can do when you're asking them to go to the shelters is to ensure that they at least have basic items, right? And we can see that across the island that was not in place. So it calls us back to center. We have to adjust, and the government has to be held responsible for this. They cannot escape it by saying, oh, we did this and we did that, and PR their way out of this. This is life and death, I don't think we fully recognize the devastation that some communities experienced and how even more devastating that can be if we're not prepared if this should happen again. So the government, we have to continue to say to them that, listen, we already see you're not prepared. Let's get it together, because we have what? July, we have August, September, October, November to go.
And maybe December to Senator.
But Senator, why is it that people are not squarely placed at the function of their development? Once upon a time, communities were prepared. They're part of the function of the office of the ODPM, who have taken international money. These people must go to jail. They have no integrity. Is to ensure that training is an ongoing thing. The amount of earthquakes that we have seen, Senator, the amount of fire that we have seen over the last couple of months, there must be a community group that you can relate to. Because when I saw that advertisement that the UNDP was asking for volunteers to help with the distribution of its goods that it was delivering to the suffering people of Jamaica. And I thought to myself, my God, wouldn't it be nice that you could have just called in a pool of volunteer in a specific area, in a specific district, who knows that Miss Maisie is live at the back of the district and will travail it at night, because you know your yard like the back of your hand. Yeah. And I'm simply saying that you didn't see the office of, my God, to the credit of the young gentleman from Excelsior, who is the head of the media, Evan, me never even know that Evan still have a job. If we never had to depend on the foreign media for the weather report, and the gall of Jamaicans keep on saying this. Jamaica is a blessed island with all of the wickedness they want do. It from government come down to the common man, and on believe that hurricane did for mash up Grenada and it for mash up somewhere, but it not for Jamaica. With this level of leadership, even God himself, God himself is about to send Raphael to defend the people. Because him knows that if Michael comes, it's a total annihilation.
But Luke,
one moment for me, please. Luke and Senator, one moment, please. Some news coming into us. One moment, please. This is Make We Talk breaking news. Right here, a major earthquake was the magnitude of 3.7 was reported in Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Catherine this evening. Short while ago, an earthquake of 3.7 was recorded in Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Catherine.
Alright.
So far, no damage. According to the earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies, the quake occurred around 5:46 p.m. So that is what we're hearing, that an earthquake was felt, and the killer, it was south of Hope Bay in Portland.
Wow.
This don't sound good, you know.
You see, Jeffrey and Luke, what we've been saying and what you said just now, Luke, it underscores how much the agencies that should be helping us to prepare have been gutted. They've been gutted, they've been emasculated, and the type of response that we are used to seeing from them is not what we're seeing now. I can remember in primary school, Jeffrey, we used to have it was a disaster competition that happened in all the primary schools, and the ODPEM was responsible for that competition.
Right.
I believe them and some other organizations. And so what they were teaching is how to prepare, what to do during, after disaster, all of that. So we were learning that. And you see that same community response that you're talking about, Luke, we used to see it. But I just can't understand the direction that the Prime Minister is bringing these agencies in, because it just seems as if they're barely operating on life support. The communication mechanisms that should be coming out of them, it's lacking.
Senator, where is the SDC? Where is the community mobilization plan to get communities to respond in a timed and effective way? The office of the Prime Minister is full with every agency. And I'm wondering, how is it governed? Because JSIF is almost like a JLP mechanism now. It has totally lost its effect. It's what the government said, it's what they do. It's not reaching community. I worked at JSIF. I know that part of the thing in one of the last hurricanes is that we were given a sheet to go out there, and we mobilized community people to do it. And within very quick succession of a week, we were able to ascertain how much damage was done in a particular area. Be it as it may, you have to put in the safeguard, the safety net, because people will take advantage of it. But the truth of the matter is that the people that are living at adverse quality. So when them see these like an opportunity, them capitalize on it. But what we were able to do was to say to them, there's an A list of those that are desperately in need, and we have created a B list of people who have been wanting help for a while. And so the response became that of the community. Now, everybody I talked about St. Elizabeth is Treasure Beach. Treasure Beach is totally wiped out. Treasure Beach. No, St. Elizabeth is totally wiped out. They got one of the biggest brunt of it. Why is it that we don't see bust of volunteers going from Kingston and from other parishes that were not as severely affected, and we do clean up there, we cook one like a pot, we laugh. I mean, you could even get a tarpaulin from ODPM for the woman who called me, and our roof a leak. Them never even have tarpaulin, because everything now looks so centralized. And you know what hurt me, Gabriela, is the people in these agencies, how they have severed their conscience, that when they're dealing with their Jamaican brothers and sisters, how they become so brash and sassy, and they feel like they can just talk. You can't even talk to these people, you know. You have to make an appointment and pray to them. But Jeffrey, I mean, a forward-thinking government could have put up the solar panel light post them. That even at the district, you know, you can't go sit down under because we can benefit from the natural sun. We not have to have JPS, but it shows at time the monopoly where JPS have, we need to have another light empowerment company, because come on, if you can't respond to it.
Hold on there for me, Luke. I know Senator don't have enough time here with us. So let me ask Senator this question, Luke, because what you're saying is absolutely correct, in Luke.
Yeah.
The minister, Jamaica's world-class Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clark Esquire. World-class Minister of Finance went and insured the country for 150 million US, is it? Yes. And he's paying 10 million United States dollars a year or a month or whatever to service an insurance policy. Now he's saying to the country of Jamaica, there's no money to get from that policy. The question that we need to ask the world-class Minister of Finance, Senator, and I think the Senate that is run by that gentleman there, the President Thomas Tavares Vincent, and the opposition spokesperson in the Senate is Peter Bunting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Leader of Senate business, yeah.
Right. I think what they need to do is to bring the minister in front of the parliament or whatever and ask him some question. One, did you bring anybody from the weather services to come and speak about the weather pattern in the Caribbean? Two, when you were signing that document, did you have a lawyer there with you? Three, did you read the fine print? Four, who are the investors in this insurance policy? Why the poor people of this country have to suffer by the hands of these people year in, year out? Senator, your take on that?
Salient questions. I know that Julian Robinson has asked some of those questions of the minister, and he's given his usual long roundabout response, defending and, trying to circumvent the issue at hand, which is that people are saying that we've spent money in this scheme and it is obvious that we are not reaping the return that we expected or that the people expected to. Now, money is a big issue also that has come up in the wake of Beryl, because we see that the government has given MPs at least $9 million to help with preparation and to help with recovery efforts. Now, many other people on the ground, and I can speak for St. Anne, have been saying that they haven't been seeing where these monies are being spent. In fact, there are several people who have said to me, we see them come our yard and then pass way because them say we are comrade, or them pass way because them say we not vote for them. And it just goes to show how disingenuous some of our representatives have been, and how they've managed to show this whole thing in some secrecy, and there's such a lack of transparency with how the money is being spent, even in a disaster when we should be seeking to help Jamaicans, not helping JLP or PNP, but helping Jamaicans to recover. And that is a huge problem, Jeffrey, because there's so many people out there who need the help, who are being denied the help on political grounds. And we have to change this. We have to see how, in addition to doing all that we talked about with ADPEM and the agencies and the community interventions, we have to ensure that the money that is in the hands of these political actors, which I don't agree with in the first place, that it's at least being spent in a transparent way, and there's some amount of accountability to say this is how it has been spent, this is what we did, this is how we did it. We have to get to that point where a disaster is not just a chance for political representatives to just spend some money and give money to who they want to and give things to who they want to, but we have to ensure that it's actually reaching to those in need. So
and Senator, please say this. When you hear Ligel and Lyad Andrew say MP get money, sometimes them don't get no money, Jeffrey. The people cost the MP them, but the money not reach. Because when the money is supposed to be allotted using an emergency fund, like how you use state of emergency, the situation will occur and the money not come till all months after.
Yeah, that is true as well.
But everybody in the country have up the MP because the MP get the money and him or her not spend it. When the truth of the matter is, we need to check some facts. And this is why I recognize that the state media houses are all bought and sold and are in the pocket of the government because nobody checks it. Then how come this money was allocated? Then how come it a take so long? And so on and so forth. The Jamaican people need to wake up, you know. We need to start to make people understand one man, one vote, same man, same vote. If you don't do what you're supposed to do by coming up with a 5 year development plan, and I can use my measuring stick to see how far you're on the plan for me to give you another nudge up. The truth of the matter is that the money is and the distributions are going into some one direction while other people, because we tend to know which areas was strongly vote JLP and which one vote PNP. Should people suffer in a disaster because they didn't believe that you are the best party to represent their issues, and therefore we sort of just marginalize the people them panic of mackerel and rice? My God, you're not giving them pink salmon or steak.
Look, the senator have to go anytime soon. But senator, before you go,
Anytime I come, man, senator will stay a little longer. Me will start pray to Zion prayer fair. She will stay a little longer. Don't you trouble that.
Senator, it was brought to my attention today on a program I had with Wilfred Rattigan, speaking about the Integrity Commission, that I'm aware of a container. A plane leave Miami, went to Donaldson International Airport, and a container, I think it's a 40-foot container, went down to Treasure Beach. Now I'm being told from reliable source that people are walking around with paper asking who want generator to buy. You see what is going on? And that is why we in the diaspora keep on saying, and I make no apology, you know. I make no apology. Do not send one red cent to this government about anything. And you have some of these so-called, what do they call them again? Places who say that they're going to help people. They're worse in the government. Senator, your final word before you go. How would you, if the man should put on his green clocks tomorrow morning, an election call, and an election night, Luke, George, Cooke, and Jeffrey Tavares can jump up in the air and say, yes, she has made it. What would you do for your people to alleviate the poverty that face our Jamaican people? What difference would you bring to the table?
So, Jeffrey, I think that one of the things that we have to do differently in a modern Jamaica is give people an opportunity to earn for themselves, give people an opportunity to create something for themselves. I believe it's important to give people an opportunity to own. And so one of the things that I want to put front and center as well is land ownership. There are a lot of people who have been living on lands, who have been there for years and years and years, build up them big house, and it's heart-wrenching to see when they're asked to leave. So that's one of the things that I think nationally a PNP government will have to address, the issue of land ownership, because we are coming from a colonial society where many of our foreparents owned nothing. They didn't have an opportunity to own, and even what they owned was taken away from them. And I think if we are to advance this society, if we're to reach those developmental goals that we talk about all the time, we have to ensure that people can own land. We see a lot of instances where it's been taken away from them, and we have to regulate that. So that's one. In St. Anne, I would like people to own, right? The second thing that I would want to see come to fruition under my leadership as an MP is building up the agricultural community in such a way that it is even more lucrative. We see that there are a lot of small farmers A lot of them need the support to transform it into business and into even introducing the possibility of export. So that's something that I have all intentions of looking at, how we can get our farmers to a place where they can earn maximum profits and they don't have to be, you know, throwing things away for spoilage and all of that. So we want to transform the agricultural community in Northwest St. Anne. Finally, one of the things, because I'm not telling you everything, because Luke, right? Tomorrow you might hear say, oh, this is how we're doing. But finally, again, empowerment of people. It's important. Northwest St. Anne as a tourism belt. There are many people who are employed in the tourism sector. One of the things that I think is important is not just leaving tourism on the coast, but also finding a way to ensure that we have tourism in communities, that we have natural tourism. So we want it not just to be the all-inclusive hotels that are getting a piece of the pie, but we want members of the community to participate and enhance the sector as well. So those are just some of the things that I'm thinking about. Of course, we have to inform our policies and our ideas through the people. And oftentimes they're not consulted in these discussions. So as a new candidate, as a new aspirant in the area, I am doing my canvas, I'm listening, and I want to encourage those who reside in Northwest St. Anne to reach out to me. Let's have a discussion so that we can build a platform that is not about me, but is about you, is about your children, is about your families, and seeing how we can do some real work to move Northwest St. Anne forward. Finally, one of the things that I would like to change as a young MP, as maybe the first Gen Z MP in Jamaica, is to actually change this thing of waiting until you are more than halfway through your term to start to do things. We see it in constituencies right across the country where people only start to do things when it's election time. I would want to see from the very first 100 days.
Senator Morris, look, take Luke's advice. I would love to see you succeed as a young, bright Jamaican woman in this new dispensation of politics when politician is at their lowest deficit in terms of trust issue. I would love to see, before you even take the seat in St. Anne, that you start the first skill bank. Know what everybody in your constituency is capable for. So when you talk about ownership of land, I would love to see you now transform what is called the current CDF fund and start what is called a corporate credit union where poor people are given the position to go back to an organization that was originally designed to help them to come out of poverty. But when you talk about empowering people, we have to know what the capability are, because if we were to do a housing project in St. Anne, I would love to know that the skill sets are coming from St. Anne. And we don't have to bring them from China or the Vietnam, or they have to come out of Kingston. We must know the strength of our constituency. And I would love for you,
on those strengths as well.
Yeah, man, I would love for you, Senator, to have your disaster planning committee with your diaspora counterpart, of course, and the Jeffrey Tavares Met with Talk program, giving you strength. Your health committee must consist of your retired nurses, your current nurses, and your diaspora nurses. And so we start to look at those health issues. You talk about nutrition, and it is important that St. Anne being one of the breadbasket of the country, that we must be telling Jamaica that because of global warming and the current threat of global warming, food security, leave him alone, make him talk. He might go be the next prime minister of the country. He might talk about Uncle Jeffrey program. Right. That people must understand that there is an importance in terms of importance of understanding food security, because Gabriela, we must tell people, say, more and more as the channels become blocked, it might be harder for food to come. So we might have to look now We
Go
might not do
yourself.
jasmine rice, but we can do Jamaica nice rice with dough and just spice it up nice and so. And you see, for me now, Gabriela, me want you to say St. Anne is the cattle parish of Jamaica because some of the best beef come from your parish. But more than that, I would love for you to have some of those bright young minds down there develop an app so that Jamaican young anybody in the world can know about St. Anne. They must know where the beach is, where the river, the little nook and the cranny is, and so forth. And part of that, tell all of your people down at St. Anne when them a build them house, Airbnb and make money. And
Yeah.
not just big hotel. People want that want that.
Feel,
Yeah.
yes.
Right. So build that in there. Me we send you a bill for the advertise for the advice. Me we send you my bill. Build that in there because we need
Look,
people's power. Where I look for?
look, you have to go now, but Senator, you have 2 more minutes leave to finish what you were saying. And also, in the same breath, did the Integrity Commission send you a letter about an investigation?
No, I've not been contacted by the Integrity Commission any investigation into illicit enrichment. I said that the first time, and I can say it the second time. But look, all good ideas. And as I said, one of the things is I've already put together what I'm calling a policy think tank, where we're looking at some of these ideas. So it's not just broad themes, but we're zooming in on the nitty-gritty that will really get us to see some change in the constituency. So I take all the advice I can get. I need to enlist you on my think tank team. But Jeffrey, again, thank you for having me on. My real hope is that, as I said, we have about 4 more months to go for this hurricane season. We have to continue to put pressure on the government to get it together, because this is not, a lot of people have been saying, oh, don't politicize the issues. It's not even about politics. As I say, it's people life, it's people livelihood, it's people future. And we cannot be playing around in a time like this and dibble-dabbling and dipping from this pocket and this purse when people need real assistance. So we continue to fight, and I just said to all Jamaicans, continue to keep the government on their toes. We need you, because we cannot allow them a free rein. We've seen what they've tried to do. We talk about the erosion of free speech and the comments that have been made by the Prime Minister. We can't let it go anywhere, get any worse. And so I'm hoping that he will call the election so we can get rid of them and we can start to rebuild on a new path where we can see a Jamaica that all of us can enjoy and benefit in. So Jeffrey, thanks again. Luke, please don't see me a road and not heal me. and
Whenever I want no clocks, man, I see you on the gen stick in a clock. So I just feel out of place and I feel like the ugly cousin. So I realize I forgot to beg one of my friend and my friend for buying me one pair of clocks. One pair of clocks, but me can't go away. I'm glad you want to rope me in, but remember, say politician now know used to be in because what me not do, me not play double standard for nobody. I love that country. But
Keep
Jeffrey, look how foolish this opportunity is. Me I gonna show you how. Where you say now, Jeffrey? Me for tap talk?
No, hold on for me. No, you're not gonna stop talk. It's just because I know Senator is pressed for time. She have a next meeting to go to, and I want her to continue coming back on this program.
I will.
And I want her to promise that she'll come on for 2 hours the next time.
I will. I forgot to prepare for that.
Please.
But I will find a new.
We have questions to ask you. And what we want to do, Senator, is that we want to have a program where your constituency can call in and ask questions.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd love that. I'd love that.
The younger people around Jamaica can call in and ask, what a young Gabriela have planned for Jamaica moving forward. You see what they're doing? They're threatening us, you know. They say they're spraying the house with the water flowers.
And they know where we live. It's boy.
Mr. Gabriela, me dad for one of them come check me on my yard. But you see, you know no reason for them on my property. If you know no reason for them on my property, I'm a monkey up when you come here, you know. So help me God, me not go to jail. Because
What you thinking?
Paula Llewellyn, I forgot work for 100 years for the DLP. Because
What
she
is it?
can't go home, you know. 'Cause everybody will have their secret, they not send them home. Them defend them, you know. Them
That
send
is
home,
another
them
Luke,
send home, Mr. Hart. Them did send
Luke,
home
hold
my
on a
friend,
minute,
the
Luke.
nurse.
Luke, hold on a minute. Senator, what you
That's
saying?
another conversation for another night because we
Yes.
are under threat, Jeffrey. You, even with the young man and the YouTuber, and what happened to him, and they're trying to pin it on the PNP. It's a scare tactic, and it just shows that the government take people for idiots. And
No,
I realize that a lot of
Hold on, Luke.
you
Jamaicans
know,
are
you me tell
seeing
you, say them
it.
not have an imagination. Look who them send
Hold on,
Ghana
Luke.
Washington. Look who
Luke,
them send go Washington the other day. The wash up no go DJ. A PMP sent people up there for a protest. Now, who could have paid Jeffrey at the PMP party for a protest? Master God, no. Come on,
It's
no. Is
ridiculous.
it
nobody.
that Rattigan is so
Ridiculous.
desperate that him now get nothing in him yard that all him want to do is run up him mouth? There are Jamaicans who love this country. And
And
what
that's
they
it.
are
And they can't
seeing,
believe that. They don't
they
want to
just
believe that.
cannot believe that there are people who still love this country and will die for it. Them remember when them go through ya, at them a rainy time, and them remember the cornmeal dumpling and the little butter. And they, my God,
But Jeffrey and Luke,
Market Reed
my
doesn't stress
final word,
everybody.
Hold
my
on, Luke.
final word, we have to, Jamaicans have to open up their eyes and see what's happening. If you look at the US and even some of the tactics that were used in the Trump election, we can see that is a similar playbook the government is carrying out here, They lie and then accuse everybody else of lying, causing you to question your own reality. So we have to open up our eyes and really, as Luke said earlier, look at the facts. Look at what you are seeing. Don't cause anybody to tell you that this is
Yeah.
not your reality and it's not happening. So Jamaicans, we have to fight for this country now. And as I said, they can't believe that a lot of people still love this place and still are willing to invest in this place. But we have to keep pushing. We have to keep pushing and keep holding them to account. That is what is going to even give them a little thought, even before they think to try to trick us. They're gonna try, but we have to
Yes.
keep them to account. So
I want to
that is
say,
my final
thank
word.
you.
No
I want to
problem.
say,
Next time I will stay a little bit longer. I
please,
promise.
please. And one thing I can say, one thing I can say before you go, they can't shut up this here boy, your mouth.
That's it.
You will not shut
No,
my
them
mouth.
not go shut up your mouth. Them
It-
are gonna attempt to assassinate you.
Make they come. Make they come.
I
Serious
got
Because God
times.
that I
Serious
serve.
times. Serious times. But we stand
no,
firmly.
Gabriela, me swear to God, said the Trump playbook. Somebody in the JLP is gonna get shot and says the PMP them do it. I
Jesus
don't put
today,
nothing past these people.
I don't either, but I don't
somebody
want to
called
see it
me today.
happen.
It's not a
Somebody
matter of
told
what we
me
want.
today,
You see, one of the things that I know, Gabriela, I can only control what is happening in my space. And if you listen to the rhetoric of the Jamaica Labour Party, from the advent of PMP and then mash up the country, the present Prime Minister was cussing Michael Manley, who make him go school, because right through the length of breadth of Jamaica, all who hate Michael Manley and believe they mash up Jamaica in the 70s, every prime minister has come and have made an impact, and they have caused us great pain. I don't think you must be talking about Mr. Manley when you're currently prime minister. I think that we should be looking forward to see the legacy that you have left. But the legacy that you have left is that we spend money for fight Vibes Cartel. We spend money for keep Paula Llewellyn. We spend money for defend all of the people that we like. While every day NCB people lose their money, and the Minister of Finance can come up with a methodology that says, well, that since NCB only losing so much money, maybe when the people them are gonna do a deposit or a withdrawal, gonna send them a message, and if them don't respond, gonna cancel it.
Yes.
Put some safety net into place. Because when you look on an old man, Gabriela, I gonna lose $6 million on NCB. I said, we not responsible
Yeah.
feed. Who responsibly feed? Why don't they take leeching money? Why
You know,
these people don't go take leeching
let-
own?
Luke, the senator have to go now. Senator,
You hear she complains that she like me, man.
yes, she just sent me a message.
You know it. You know it.
Yes, she just sent me a message.
You
I have to
know
go
it.
now.
No, I always enjoy the discussions over here, but I have
Yeah.
to go. I have to go.
So,
Look,
Senator,
we
before
will
you go,
talk.
2 minutes before you go, how many
Yeah.
people in your constituency have light and don't have light now? Do they have light now or not?
There are still some communities that up to today did not have lights. Getting reports in Miss P say hers come back. So still
Yeah.
getting reports that some are getting back light. And I have gotten back light today, but there are some that are still not. They're not seeing anybody. So we're still working on that.
Senator, on that note, I want to tell you thanks for coming onto the program. And as I said
Thank you
before,
for having me.
do not let this program push you away. Continue coming in and bring more people to the program.
I
And
will. Next time I will bring on some more young people as well.
please do. Please do. Thank you very much, Senator Gabriela Morris, President of the PNP YO, and also MP aspirant for Northwest St. Anne. I wish you all the best, and I pray and hope to God that when the election.
I think you're profited. I said the next MP. Come now,
I like that.
we start with prophecy, Jeffrey. Come now, the next MP. We anoint our point.
I like that.
You will be the next member of parliament for Northwest St. Anne.
That's right. That's right.
In
That's
the word of the former, in the word of KD Knight, we're sending the current MP to pack your bags and go. Step aside now. The better girl wants to take over. You didn't know what you got.
Step aside now.
Dear lyrics, Luke, All right, everybody. Thank you again. Good night. Good night.
Thank you very much. We'll keep in touch.
All right.
Bye-bye. That was Senator Gabriela Morris, one of Jamaica's finest and youngest senator of all time. Luke.
Oh, my time for talk?
Yes.
Okay.
The nation is in crisis, Luke, because we got a call today that a container park up in a bush down at Treasure Beach. Member of Parliament, Floyd Green, the W as the Barber Green man down there. From reliable sources, one container park up down at Treasure Beach, and they have list the ground and ask people how much they can pay for generator. The generator was sent down to Treasure Beach to get
you surprised? You surprised? The last time when COVID started, 700 tablet come to Jamaica, all now we can't account for none. We take money and we put TV and we put furniture in hotel, and nobody showed us how those things were given to agencies like the domestic violence, the pregnant teen centers, and the transition center for some of these people, where these equipment could be given to them, because we can't be buying equipment for private run businesses. I'm not surprised. Jeffrey, I tell you the truth, I want 3 people to be checking. Not the political directorate, but you must have a church representative, somebody from the international community, and somebody from one of the most visible local entity in the parish. Those are the people who I want to see checking off these goods and saying Jeffrey Tavares got a generator because he might have a relative who have a respiratory problem, or children who have asthma, or he lives in an area where it is possibly better for you to have some amount of lighting because you're a part of the vulnerable group, certainly the disabled. And it brings me back to Jeffrey. If you're really prepared for a hurricane, how do you know honestly who is in your community? Because what I did in very short order, when everybody said to me, oh, I sound as if I was happy that burial was coming, and it wasn't gonna come because Jesus loved Jamaica. So it never like Jesus hate Grenada. He hated the other
That's the
country that
mentality.
suffered from Beryl. Is that irrational that we're such tongue talking, hey, Kodabosa, Shatabosa, we're that kind of a people that God love us, and the wickedness. I mean, people never want to left them yard because them never know them and go back to. You mean that is the frame of mind that a person should believe in, to go into a shelter that they rather die than keep down them little place, and that video that was circulating, Jeffrey, with the lady on top of the roof where
That
she
old lady.
hold down, yeah, she hold down one sheet as zinc and the next one behind her a fly. Can you imagine if that did turn the
My
other way?
God. Mm.
Eh?
And the
Uh,
mercy
uh,
God keep her there.
and the fact that the neighbor felt, all right, your video, and you are there calling your mother, so you could have a good laugh. Imagine maybe that's the only thing that gives that little woman any amount of dignity in this country. And what is joke to you is death to our next man, because to lose that little roof is to almost mean that all that I have worked for tirelessly is going to be threatened by burial. It's almost like since burial has come, we forget that there are other systems out there, and so we should have Jamaica on an alert, and we should be making sure that every day the media is flooded, not with the constitution reform foolishness that that minister is coming up with, but it must be flooded where you can go, because you see, if you're not living unfortunately, if you're not living in St. Elizabeth, Manchester, or Clarendon, God help you if you apply for government for help you right here now with hurricane, because the whole of the relief have been focused on the 3 parishes that are badly hit. So the rest of Jamaica is basically waiting for die fees to just drop some crumbs so that we can get it. When you should have been able to work with your municipality, your MPs, your community group, your faith-based organization, to be able to deal with distribution at every level. And as I said, I mean, I would love to have been Prime Minister after Beryl to say, look here, let us show the spirit of Jamaica. You're the woman abroad, please come help me clean up down Manchester. Please come help me clean up down St. Elizabeth. Me need 10 carpenter, 20 electrician. Me need some of that, because we're going to put up some solar panel light that the people can get little light and them not to feel. One of the worst feelings after burial was when you sat in that dark and it come home to you. Lord Jesus, me can't even buy one generator. And then if you did a piece of meat in the fridge, you said, Papa Jesus, then the little piece of meat I got spoiled. Then when me I got eat for the rest of the week. Because some of us are 1 meal a day with the pan, 1 meal a week. Sunday hungry, not tough again like the everyday hungry. And it's just sad to say that this young Prime Minister who promised us that Jamaica would be, at this point, it would be almost like the Roadrunner. It would outrun every other government, previous government, including JLP administration, has failed us and has done so bitterly. Why do we have the monopoly of JPS? Is it that nobody else can form a light and power company? The Jamaican people don't have a choice?
Not only that, George Cooke, when you look into it, why is it that after so many years, we're going to become 62 years old come August, I think. And why is it that this country of ours can't build a solar plant for the people of this country? That Jamaica pay one of the highest electricity bill in the entire Western Hemisphere. Jamaica pay the highest taxes known. Why is it that we can't do something to help our people when it comes on? We have the Master God sun to shine every day. Why they can't borrow some money and build a solar plant for the people? Is it that JPS is the only person can And we don't even own JPS. JPS is owned by a foreign entity, a foreign government, a foreign whatever. What do we own in this country?
You see why when we talk people, Jeffrey, sometimes I know say me no want come on, but sometimes I feel like me I talk to the choir, but them I say amen, but nobody now understand what me mean.
True.
There is no fear sense of urgency among the listeners. We talk, but it can't be just talk. It has to be action because you want to tell me say. All of them billions that are there where JPS and Mechanical go back to Canada. You want to tell me that if we had a local run light and power company, or we had about 4 of them that don't have no monopoly, so you can buy from this one, you can buy from that the one, you could have get from that. And why is it that most of these houses are being built and they are not even one like a solar panel on it? I think that the National Housing Trust should now look into that. And everybody are going to be able to buy Delco. But my God, the way how Jamaica had alone, we would have rather have the sun run the little fan in the house here now where you hear the poor people them when them talk about the mosquito them get bad, It's like Beryl bring some mosquito here, me I tell you, them wickeder than Jamaica Labour Party, and them wicked than the political dynasty in Jamaica, including the PNP, because you see for them as the opposition, give and take, me might big up Gabriela, because I like what she said. I like sensible people. But Mark Golden, you never come up with no disaster plan either. You only always a piggyback on the downfall of the Jamaica Labour Party. Not because you're opposition leader. Let me see you doing something. Go say something other than these stupid messages. Oh, I hope that you will ride out the storm and that you will be safe. No, Mr. Golden. Where is your clout? Where is your distribution points? Where are you advocating that we must use the natural resources of the country to get our people out of a hurricane faster, or a storm faster, or a hurricane faster than we can recover?
Luke, I have a call on the line here, Luke. Hello, caller. One moment for me, please. One moment. Nothing right here. What's going on here? So hold on for me. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I hear Luke talk about public service sending back all the money to Canada, right? One of our we're getting a feedback, Jeffrey. I don't know if you can hear me well.
You can hear from Negril Point tomorrow and try to call Manchester hearing it too.
Well, one of the problems that we have been in Jamaica, Jeff and Luke, I have never seen so much lobbying in Jamaica. And the lobbies are the one that is driving the high rate of cost of living. Because I will give a classic example. The government of today imported some buses in Jamaica. But yet still, we can't improve and we cut down the theft of the parts. And I believe, right, when them import all these things, the same people them who are doing it is setting up them friends to teach the parts to go back and repair their businesses outside in the automotive industry. And these are the things that we have to take into consideration. All right. The government of the day, I hear the Prime Minister say they have to change the JPS Act and cut away shrubs from the wires, from the wires. All of this is common sense, right? All of this is common sense, because this is something should have an ongoing. This process should be ongoing throughout the years, throughout the months, to make sure you clear the high tension wires. Because we know with an hurricane, The trees are there, and the trees is going to blow down and cut down the line with them. But no, it's all about money. So we wait to damage the power line, and then now we pay the friend them now for come back in to put up at the power line. The lobbyist, man.
May I say something, Carla? When the Prime Minister gonna say that they're gonna do X, Q, Y, Z, and blah 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 blah, it's because of Beryl past you why the Prime Minister see these things. You never see these things all along. Every single party coming to power tell the Jamaican people a bag of bull crap.
Jeffrey, it's all about the lobbies. And again, I'm not saying all lobbies are bad enough. But man, for God's sake, we have too much lobbies in Jamaica who is implementing things and them have to get them kickback in the long run. And that needs to be reeled in. Because I don't know if many Jamaicans know this. When you think of poor pastors, are you aware that the high tension wires are run underground?
I'm aware of that.
Exactly. Why is it that we don't try that throughout Jamaica, especially in rural areas? You know, that is something that we need to try, because it takes time to put back the people them back on the grid. But if we had it running underground, we won't have that problem. You understand?
True.
But it's just too much lobby.
You see what Mr. Jeffrey? At them kind of discussion, I want to participate in that. But the truth of the matter is that, look, it says 6 million now only live between Canada, Britain, the we don't really want to come back on the something. Plus, we're not taking the African country. For most of the time when we talk, we don't even think about the people that living outside of Jamaica and the Caribbean. Now, what if we were to propose to the government that we want to do a light and power company, and we wanted you to, we were going to invest in a group of young people that could set up solar systems, and that anybody who is into the development process, we can set up solar system. Because you're absolutely right. I'm on a basic school. I'm on several school board, and when you look at school paying almost $5 to $6 million per year, and that's for a small basic school, not to talk about these high schools that are into the like 15 millions and so forth for the year in electricity. It takes so much resources from putting that into our human capital that than paying for a power company. So let's say that we could have retrofitted those schools with good panel, because you had a team from Hartros NTA and the University of the Technology that they are just earmarked to produce this sort of piece of equipment. But if we really want to do an investment portfolio into the Jamaican society, instead of those millions being extracted to go back to a foreign entity, it is the Jamaican people who now owns the light and power, and therefore we set it at meaningful rates based on where people fall in the socio-economic class, and it's not a white person who is dictating in 2024 how much do we pay, because we have a two-tier system where we're using the natural resources that we have in, and I'm agreeing with the caller, too much people in Jamaica are make their money being the middleman. So they are like the background master of this modern slavery. You know, you don't have enough of us advocating for change that we can believe in change that is going to give us a better return. So when you're going to talk about a minister playing with our children's future by taking out an insurance that he's now, he's so brilliant. He has the brains to think for all of
The
Jamaica
damn jackals.
and the Caribbean. But you didn't know, say, this a policy and you never get nothing from it. So it's like you just create a next SSL where you just take the money and spend it and we not get no value. And you have the gall to think that you one day should be prime minister of this country. Because that's where
But look,
Go ahead.
yes, caller.
yeah, but look, Jeffrey, think about Portmore. That is dubbed Sun City. Most homes in Portmore have a flat roof, right? Think about if the government would say to the Portmore residents, we will give you a break to import solar panels to put on your homes. Why the government don't think of that?
No,
And you know what JPS is going to say? The lobbyists, no. Because we're going to lose billions.
And not only that, the people in the parliament who have to make money off of the Jamaican people too, them not stop it,
But I will give you a better joke. I want you go to New Kingston, and you go to the atrium, and you go up on the roof, you see a solar farm.
And repeat, on the where?
The head of the head office for the NCB. And that is sad. If you go Philip Palwell yard, literally you see Spider Park because in turn everything in
Literally off the grid.
yeah,
Literally
everything
off the
is
grid.
off the grid. And some people say them even sell back JPS the excess from
Exactly.
the right.
You put
So me not see how come the Minister of Energy now push for us to look at alternative way of sourcing energy so that the suffering, the unbearable suffering, Jeffrey, that is being faced. You notice that a whole heap of things is now disrupted. School can't fully function, and this end of term, people are get them supposed to get out report, and so hospital can't fully function because some of them are still suffering, and the generators that they have are quite outdated. So you have to ask yourself the question, who is government really serving once they get into office? And this is why I'm saying, Jeffrey, them need to come up with a 5-year comprehensive plan as to how they see the development. And that has to be driven by the level of consultation that these aspirant people go in there, and they have to come up with a business plan. So you have to have a business plan. You have to have a sustainable. You call it sustainable plan, but it has to have a business component. It has to have an environmental component, and it has to show how you improve human capital. And if you don't have that, you can't come for both the local and the and it's not that me I try to run Duns people, because Duns people can always solicit the support of their colleagues to help them to develop this. As I said, is not one man, but it's everybody in a community who needs to come out and do this. And do this. We must ensure that our healthcare supporters are in community and can tell you what's happening with Jeffrey. We can employ more people in this country, not just to become domestic helpers.
Look, when you're looking into it, in this modern age and modern democracy and technology and everything like that, the Minister of National Insecurity, along with the Minister of the World Class, Minister of Finance, and Jamaica's wannabe dictator, they're saying they're building police stations across the country.
Yeah, lock up
Hold
our
on,
backside.
hold on, And majority of the police station the building across the country don't have a solar panel on it. The building a new hospital. Is it that hospital gonna have solar panel on it too? Or not? These people are yet they spend much billions of dollars on the correctional hospital and they have people there working who threatening people left, right, and center.
Look here. Look here. You see when you talk like this, people say we are propagandists. We are trying to bring, but I want half a who. I say we wicked. For left their comfort and then second country and come back here, come spend 1-2 months and make them see the reality. Not sit down at their yard and make people tell you. Don't sit and let them fool you. Jeffrey, you see this distribution of goods that is coming from overseas. Me tell you already, it had to be a 3-tier committee who handle it in every district. And me know say me can hold John, Mary, Simone, and me can hold Jeffrey, Luke, George, Herb Nelson accountable when people not get none. Other than that, you're going to have more trailers parked and the liquor something them start to sell.
Mm.
You know, it not reach the people them where it for reach. Because you never hear the Prime Minister ask volunteers from community to meet with him at the national arena or when him go Cornwall, Middlesex and Surrey because there's going to be a distribution and he's
No,
asking
man, he's not gonna do that. Him not gonna do that because somebody have to name food. And all the Labour Party propagandists who make the win election in 2016, them have to name food too, you know. They're not gonna do that. We have some serious times going on in this country. And until we as Jamaicans wake up and smell the coffee and demand the change that we so seek and we so need in this country, then I'm sorry, this country will never become better.
Then we have coffee in here for smell. Jeffrey, you're living in the past, man. Nowadays, the Jamaican don't even know what coffee smell like. We're drinking Starbucks. We don't even know what coffee smell like anymore. But the fact of the matter is that, Jeffrey, we need real policies. We need real policies. For instance, you're building more police station because you know where you're going with the security plan. That is why your only solution to the crime situation is to create stiffer penalty for a young man who is caught with a gun, but not for a politician that are disturbing the people. That is why you want to silence people who spend their evening talking about their country in a very productive way, like you, the caller, myself, Gabriela, and the listeners who have a love for this country, where we should have an open forum with a forward-thinking leader where he's taking suggestions from us and putting that now into a green paper so that it can come into law. But what you're doing is going to a blogger's house to go watch him a wartime plant and have the young man a report a police station. So what?
Hold on, Luke. I have a call on the line. Caller, Miss P, welcome to the program.
Oh my. My little two-piece,
Yes.
But you know, European, Maryland, JPS, and the Jamaica government, and the private, and the whole of them. Listen to me. Me not go high school now, me not no PhD. But my little common sense tell me, say, if JPS and the minister who responds for the country in the utility business, they care 1% about we the Jamaican ordinary people, which made up the majority. Okay? Then would be prepared for a hurricane. Remember now, Jamaica is in the trap of hurricane. We are in the tropic. God bless you sometimes. Some areas cover, we not get the damage. But if JPS use 10,000 light pole and 10,000 transformer and all the wires and so, I believe in this storeroom they should have two times the amount.
And not
Even as you touch.
Miss P, not only to Miss P.
Yeah.
JPS has been ripping off the people, and I don't care who I'm begs.
That is it.
JPS has been ripping off the people, Miss P.
You know you have that issue. And it's time to come up now for hurricane season, which is a natural disaster. We might get it, we don't must get it. I believe in your storeroom, you should have 2 to 3 times the amount of equipment pack up. You should have started to clean the line them. Get the tree them down. If your line run against people private property, you go to Miss Jane and Master John and say, guess what? This tree is encroaching and we are approaching the hurricane season, so let us clean up and do what we have to do. I remember 1988 clearly. After Gilbert Blow, and I can tell Jamaican about from Gilbert Blow at Jamaica, we don't have no big tree again. Gilbert blow down some humongous tree. Some kidney mango tree, some whole tree about 1,000 years old. And in my community where I was living at that time was a deep rural country. Here, deep rural. And when the JPS man, after the storm passed, the JPS man them come out and them do their assessment. You know what they did? Mm-hmm. Persons in the community who have a power, sir, cutlass man, them recruit them to help them with the JPS man. Them. We, the female, they recruit we help take out the like when they cut them, we draw them and clear out the road. When if you remember, say international help did come. Some white man used to climb up when the post come from different country. Now Jamaica people, you must see say we get a little disaster. Nobody from foreign not even look on we. Not even look on we. JPS on creep. JPS, if you want them to 1 week, not even 1 week, you don't have no light. For the same thing. Digital the same thing. No. How you can have 1 JPS? Mark Bolin, when you win, sir, we don't want a 1 JPS, sir.
Hold on a
minute. We want 5 lighting company.
Hold on, Miss P. You know something? If the Jamaican government really care about the Jamaican people, you know what they should have done? Is build a warehouse, a big warehouse up by Upper Camp, where they have every single thing coming in from donor countries for disaster and so forth, go up to Upper Camp, the store up there, and they use the members of the Jamaica Defense Force to go out during disaster and distribute what they have to distribute and fix what they need to fix.
That's what them did in Hurricane and the Ivan Ardeen. Yes. The soldier them come round. I was living in Old Harbour, and the soldier them come round, find out who for house this, who live in I, how much how live in I, and assess it. That's what them did in Hurricane Dean. If it was Dean, it was Ivan, one of them. The soldier them you see come round, and everybody gets something as card to all them get hurt and all it could have spent. Or one of them there. But this government is a dictator government, even friend them. So every opportunity you get, whether disaster, them have to hustle. Then it's a chop. Because you don't tell me, say, a burial past Jamaica. And we not get licked. Them say, assessment shows that Manchester St. Kitts may get the worst league. Hurricane Beryl, call it say brunch Jamaica. Jamaica is just an island, it's not a country. Are you in a modern 2024? People still don't have light? Why? Why is it? People don't have light. No, Jamaican people may have to wake up, no big eye, and stop talking about this and to make a decision. Because remember now, if you guys follow the traffic, we might have get 2 more before the close of the season.
True.
And what we are going to do? What happened to the old people who have to live with their medication? We have to store up on the fridge. What happened to those people? Me get lick, you know. But me not dead. Right?
Miss P.
Me get lick on my rooftop, half of my house top, take off like a flying saucer.
Yes.
My animal then just turn out the yes. Me have 6 animals. And each one of my animals them weigh like nearly 200 pounds. And I was thinking, but me never think proper. Right? And a tree just take everybody. One safe. Okay? I'm not complain to that. Me feel it because I'm investment. I'm if I feed not very often. But what am I going to do? But there are people worse than me.
True.
Me not sick. Me not handicapped. Me will bounce back. And I can tell you, no. Although me lose them there, no. I don't want to see no green people on my foot. Me don't want nothing from them. Oh, this Jamaica, Mr. Andrew Wallace, Honorable Dr. Prime Minister, is the worst thing ever happened to Jamaica since creation. Worst thing for a young man, not say a young people time. Young people supposed to have vision. And who don't have none, the hungry vision who don't have is to dictate people, take away people's speech and right. A man look by and tell us your nose big, you not do nothing. He say your nose big. Nothing wrong with that. Then my man said, Honorable Prime Minister, what make you can declare? I said, he not disrespect you. He not threaten your life. And all you can do is come and you're going to run
and my mother, I'm sorry for the lick where you get it and the disaster, but it's not just freedom of speech him going after. It's how them blatantly take all the tax office go. Who rent the space? Who you rent it from? Is the level of thiefness we are allowed? And then una focus on the scammer. The scammer and una internal scammers. Who own archers?
You see, on the private sector people, let me tell you something.
No man, them they are the drunk of them in this country. Them just want more dead body.
1 day, 1 minute, 1 second, 1 hour. Uno got dead and no found no go suffer before no dead no money now go help uno. Because the same people will get up a morning time we are gonna work for uno. Whether that the hospitality or the factory or the packing warehouse, who know part of it suffer the people them. Who know if we stand up for the workers and Jamaican people who live here, who are feeling no time for no get up and talk. Who don't have to fight, burn no black no road no peaceful demonstration. Right to no placard. This thing is too much now, man. Too much. Me get licked, but other people get worse than me. So why I not come and complain? Me not say me not rich, me poor, but me have life. But me think about my neighbor. Even the day, but I want to look, George. You have more sense more me. Bank of the Jamaica. Who are the mother bank? They are beg you tell Scotia Bank say. People put them money in a bank and they want the money. When you say if you get card and got ATM, every ATM in a center and be a Nova Scotia and have no money at a certain time of the day. And this hurricane come and enough people did not get paid. The hurricane come Wednesday and up to Tuesday night, people not get them pay if you go buy up nothing. Those are some of the things that happen. I find myself with 20,000 Jamaican dollar, and when I reach home, I must see $200 in a me bag. What you think me do with the cab? What you think me do with it? Learn people if you don't catch a little equipment when they want, because they say, well, it really a compete you. Where you buy back? No money. Sorry, this bank is on. Sorry for inconvenience, whatever. No money. No money. No money. So when them are at about curfew, it's not one size that fit all. One size that fit all. You think if you know the hurricane come, and you have to burn down, go back down or whatever, you don't have no food. You don't have no good drinking water.
Them never want you go to the corner shop, my mother. Because the corner shop people, them did that spread COVID. Them never want you go to the corner shop. Mister, it was the most silliest thing. In the middle of the hurricane, when you want to run, go to the road, go save Jeffrey house stop blow off. You have to now watch police who want to lock you up. I'm tell you some of them police here now. It's like they know your face and your voice and then make sure so they hate you for all of the government wickedness. And you not do them nothing. No, in which country do you call a curfew in the middle of a hurricane when your first responder is always going to be your neighbor, who we are always going to be risking our life to help our brothers and sisters? Jeffrey, it was no joking. No, by the time people took the hurricane serious in Jamaica, and got the wholesale, nothing left on the shelf, And God bless you having in your pocket, because part of preparing, it should have been the week leading up to the hurricane. Please go out and tie down your roof, get some reinforcement material. Here are your shelters. If you can't make it to a shelter, go to your neighbor's house. It was so horrible. And in this recovery process, a pensioner called me today and said, Mr. Cooke, I went to the post office today to collect my pension, and I don't know what happened, but no book is there for me. And how am I going to feed myself? And I'm like, oh my God. Who you gonna call now for ask why the pensioner they never get them pension? And then the waiting time for our senior citizens. So God forbid that her life certificate had gone in late, and it was submitted like a day or two after it was dated for. You want to tell me that pensioner have to lose the contribution, then make a report to the Ministry of Labor, then they give her one for the present period of 3 months coming up, and then them tell her that they're going to prepare a check to send it out to her in the post, and sometime 2-3 weeks that check isn't ready for the pensioner to get. I mean, does Mr. Holness understand the suffering of the people that he swears to God he loves them? He loves them. Why should a pensioner have to go through that?
And the price gouging. The price gouging again. And I want to take this opportunity to speak to the Commissioner of Police. Blake, you're a young man. In spite of all things, I would advise you as a ordinary Jamaican, please to get some of your officers then trained. I saw an incident happen where I was so disturbed I have to just walk away. Because I swear to God, if it was if the person, if you don't even near about what me can say, yes, me know him. Like that. This gentleman, this is Jamaica. And we have all type of people among us, including at the parliament, the most criminal and all type of nastiness in there. So if in the House of Parliament, too much crime is in there, what do you expect what to do? Now, this man, ordinary Jamaican man, he was drunk, intoxicated. And you know when people drunk, intoxicated. And he was in the town and he was saying, see one woman, you know, touch nobody. And he say, you know, Jamaican, me like how you look and me that deal this and me that deal that. So the gentleman stand up and I talk to one lady that say, you just look fat and so. Yes, him drunk, intoxicated, and not touch nobody. Now he stand up and I talk to this one, you know, like it. He call the police lady. As a trained personnel, the man now lick nobody, you know, about piece of kick in no stone, in a so if you lick nobody, you gotta tell them how they sitting fat and going what I do with them. No. What I would have done is to call him and say, come on. He became down and make him cool off a little. That good man from good background. But somebody said to me, say, the man a little stress I had and didn't take a liquor fight. He wasn't like that. You know what they see the police woman do? Take a jelly man cutlass and start put on some lick on the big man.
I beg your pardon?
Mighty God. Me say every part of me, every year, Papa, my body turn active. And I say, you see the man with cutlass, or you see him with kick, I'm a fight nobody physically, the man that's a chat out of him mouth, coffee mouth. And I'm a tell woman, saying look, they look good. No, it can be an offense, because I mean I know a lot more on that. But what I'm saying is intoxicated. And in a fight, in a war, in just a walk with you. You don't feel licking with cutlass like him a cow.
Yeah, but she should be fired from the police force, because part of her training is to be able to assess the condition of the man, both mentally at the point of when that man was making, and that is almost verbal abuse. It may carry no weight in the court of law. Other than that, the whole we were got court house, so that for paperwork for a mouth. But you know, you as she assault the man, technically as she assault the man, because he didn't do anything, and the fact that she had to remove a weapon, a cutlass, from a third party to beat that man. I mean, she has a little bit too much power. But I don't know that this commissioner of police is interested in transforming the police force, because to me, my mother, when them get in, everybody want to keep the crowd, so them not shake it. Because the first thing him would have had to prove to me that him was the commissioner of the police force and not the commissioner of the rank and file and the government. Greatest puppet would have been to reinstate Rowan James as the chairperson of the Police Federation and ask the Prime Minister to apologize to one of his employees, because the man was targeted and literally forced out of his position. And what is amazing to me is how quick in succession the Police Federation members were willing to allow James to go without putting up a fight. So what you're basically telling me is that we are becoming more and more of a spectator to our democracy, because more of us will not speak out, and yet still if the two girls fight over a man, everybody phone with a back out. So it's like the policewoman and the parent, and we saw what is happening. Jamaicans are growing very wary of the men and women in uniform, because they're overstepping their pay grade. Them only respect those who are in power, and the rest of us must be treated as if we live at the back of their yard. And all of a sudden, when they put on that uniform, they think it's a cloak. that says Superman, so and Super and Wonder Woman, because they don't respect us. The way all them quick for pepper spray and lick people is just and when them a talk to you, oh God, Jesus, I mean.
We have to go now, ladies and gentlemen. People, I want to tell them thanks. So, caller, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, man, big up yourself. Big up yourself, Nuki.
Love you with all of my heart. I know gone, me gone, but I walk when you know see me, I walk.
All right, no boy. Continue walk. You will get a pay there. And then
Ma,
we just talk
me dying forget couple days to go down a grand
in a positive way. God
yeah,
will
man.
protect you. And you always, as I come off of this year, make I tell you something. My advice to you as a prime minister, and I'm a ordinary citizen, better you pack up your bag and left and prepare for your silver bangle them. It's the worst thing. And what make it so more disgraceful, you was conceived here.
Yeah.
You're born here. You go to school here. You grow here. Me no hear say you ever left gone a different country, go live now.
Enough of them born here, my mother warrior. Enough of them wish we did stay with the. You see the old hypocrite them. My mother them wish we did stay under the British manner, because let me tell you something. If the Jamaica Labour Party win, them have the same plan where the Republican them have. Project 25, believe it or not, the whole away I go have a soon tap talk.
Yes, I gotta go
the
now.
The whole away. Andrew Holness have a green paper where say, I like me and you have to go to jail, and we are going to get life imprisonment because they are going to try us as terrorists against the state. For anybody who said nothing, me never know one prime minister can come tell them people them in our country say they have to shut them mouth, they not for talk. You can't pay me for my opinion. Me no know. Come look for me, Andrew. Come look for me.
All right, Miss P, thank you for calling in.
All right, Jeffrey. God be with you and God be with everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
And Jamaican people, heads up.
Thank you.
At them for stop listening to the lie. At them for stop listening to the lie and start for vote pan policy. That is why Warmington will be MP forever, because him can tell you say if you want water, don't make them tell you about water, piss them, go piss the pipeline. In which democracy outside of this country you find people behave that way and still have a job. But when the teacher they tell a little boy up a Pembrokeshire say, me know your mama and don't make me tell you how the whole world condemn the woman and me tell you say, you see, Jamaica time will wise up, man. Jeffrey Tavares, you need to come run for prime minister. Jamaica needs some people who love her.
Hold on for me, look. I have an next call. No. They say they're tracking us and they're looking at our house and see with the water flowers. Will nobody kill me?
And I water flowers and my green winter vegetable. Because when them bother my brain, me need for God take two dry the good sense of me.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Go ahead.
Jeffrey, I heard Luke touch on Corporal Rowan James. I will give you a name. Do you remember Sergeant Raymond Wilson?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
You remember that Sergeant Raymond Wilson was once the Federation boss?
Yes.
And what the government did?
Kick him out.
The government... No. The government promoted him to Deputy Superintendent of Police.
Oh.
So he jumped a rank as inspector and went out of the rank and file to quiet him. Keep that in mind.
But one thing they can't do though. One thing they cannot do though. They can't silence Corporal Rowan James, you know. And that is why they don't want him back in there.
Right. Yeah,
man. And I want you to hold that Carla and Jeffrey. Anybody in this country who speak up for the country they will suffer us and they will suffer our children because their biggest job is to make sure that we lose our interest and love for this country until we are members of their cult and their fraternity, and we tell the lies to our people for our pot of porridge. Then, my God, why are we getting rid of a king and creating a king instead? Why are we getting rid of a king when we are promoting a king? Because this king has nobody to keep him on the checks and balance, you know. Neither him nor his wife, who is in court. And her name is called in on every piece of controversial piece of land in this country, but she still holds high office. So what do you say to a scammer or a young man who is wanting to become a criminal this night? The wronger you are is the stronger you are in Jamaica right now.
Good night, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Jeffrey Chris. How you doing?
I am here, my friend. You're live on air.
Yes, I'm calling in to talk to your guest.
Oh, sure.
And I called.
Hold on for me.
I called today. And we were talking to Ratik, and I couldn't get into what I really wanted to say to him about the corruption in Jamaica. And what I was saying to Ratik was, if you have the political will, which is what you need to clamp down on corruption, nothing else will work unless you have the political will. You have to have that as a strategy going in. We're going to change the culture, the political culture. All of that flows from political will. If you don't have a justice system that address all of the loopholes and all of the local barriers that they put up, they put a law in and then put up a barrier to counteract that law. And, you know, all of the legalese that they do, it takes political will and commitment to break down corruption. And only a transformative person, and I'm hoping that Mark Golden is that person, because we know Andrew Holness is not that person. Andrew Holness came into office with one thing on his mind, to enrich himself through the political apparatus of the country, and then bring a gang, a Cooke and thieves with him, and they have looted the treasury of Jamaica. And corruption is not just about money. It's a culture that is like an acid. It erodes everything it comes into contact with. And it creates a downstream thing that destroys the culture of the country. It must be brought under control. And I am hoping that Mark Golden will be that person, like Michael Manley, that free black people. Michael Manley was the person that free black people and give them education. He wanted to give them land and give them house. But the most important thing that Michael Manley did for Jamaica, and black Jamaicans in particular, was him to learn to read and write, go to university for free. And he made the black middle class. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Michael Manley, with that transformative act of free education, even Holness benefited from it.
Indeed.
And we need another person like that in Garden House. And I'm hoping that Mark Golden, if he not do anything else, will be the person who bring corruption to heel in Jamaica, because without that, Jeffrey, Jamaica will just flounder for another 50 years and not go anywhere.
Yes,
we must deal with corruption.
Yes, my friend. Thank you very much.
All right, Jeff.
Thanks much. Wow. Look, we need to say good night, but another call coming into the program here. I need to cut the program because I have to go and do something now, but let me see something here. Good night, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yes, my friend. Thank you very much.
Can you turn off your TV in the background, please, sir?
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
My call for one reason, right? I don't have the main reason. I listen from today.
Yes.
I know me I listen again. The only reason why I'm call, I hope and I'm going to say this again, I hope that Mr. Golden and his team is listening and looking and see what this Mr. Homeless and his team is doing to Jamaicans. I hope they are looking and they are listening.
All right.
I'm just hoping. Look,
Caller, Mr. Golden and
other
his
times
team.
we talk about die hard till
Caller,
and to your 8 and to your 8.
Caller,
Hello?
Caller. Me need Mr. Golden and him team to get some fortitude of testicular. Me no want nobody just a listen. Me no hear Golden and him team a come out with nothing that is striking me eye that them seriously want to take on this labor right slave ship.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you very much. Thank
You know
very
what
much.
I would love for you to have said? I hope the Jamaican people are taking note. And that nobody have to persuade us that we need a change of government. But when we get it, Golden must understand that it's not going to be a vacation or a honeymoon. He must hit the ground running to make sure that he brings back dignity to the office of government and that we will see a leader who understands the people. What the hell are you talking about, Golden? I want to see more community groups coming up and start to lead processes of telling the government that, look, this is not your house.
Look,
this is our house.
Sir, I believe, this is just my belief that the people of and some of them are seeing and some are blind. But me said this already. Man a PNP, man a Labour right. Few months from now I'll be 40. And the first time I go vote in my life. And because me want better for myself and my kids them. And the first time when Mr. Wallace called this election, the first time I go vote. And a few
But
months
I hope you watch the election and don't make them do what them do in a local government. Because Golden and him team can come analyze why the local government, why Cliff Hughes called an election. Who the hell is Cliff Hughes? Cliff Hughes called that election and threw the whole country in a tizzy. And then, days after, my brother, we don't know who won.
I'm gonna say this. Why I give up on this party here called JLP, I'm gonna tell you this. I have a friend, very, very good friend. Me and she was talking some days ago, and she was literally crying based on the conversation that. And I said to her, so basically the same thing where I go through, and the same thing I go through. And he went to, the only thing besides that she never recorded it. He went to a minister, And when he went to the minister for the help, the minister turned to him and said, yes, I can help you, but that's something for something.
Which minister?
The woman come out of the office and cry living in water.
Jeffrey, don't ask which minister. The PNP them do it. The PNP councillor them rapacious to do it. When you go to them, you vote for me. That is not how you talk to any member. Every minister in a Jamaica barring none. When them no want froze the feel up, them are gonna ask you how you vote or them call them call them. Look here, Jeffrey, them something off it top. If it top.
Look, but you see, the problem is this, that the minister who do it, I was shocked and I was surprised. Believe you me.
Why you shocked and surprised?
Give up on this Labour right party.
Hold on. We don't have enough time left on the program here because I gotta go. Why I say give up on the pain when the Labour Party go? Listen to me. What we need to do, and I keep on telling the people of this country and people who listen to my program, that the change that we seek in Jamaica will never come from the two political parties. From 1962 until now, they have been governing this country from 1930 something. No better barrel, no better heroin. We have been swapping that dog for monkey in this country for far too long.
Anyway, Carl, I'm glad you go vote. But what Marky G, where go around and is a mild manner that everybody like him. Him need for cut out of that. Mark Golden need for move from this political diatribe. Mark Golden don't even organize people in a them constituency for advising. Him listen to one set of people and at them advise him. And they can't advise you, sir. Constituency people need to speak to you. And so they need to have people who them can designate from them corner who you must sit down with and you must take advice from. Because look here, we send you there to do a job. We never send you there for go make our life worse. You not forget richer and we get poorer. That no work.
All right, call up. Thanks for calling in, caller. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks so much. Luke, your final 2 minutes. Wrap up.
I say it already. The call must fall. The clarion call fall on all of us as Jamaican to play our part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. Cut out this PNP garbolatry and this JLP garbolatry because look, everybody come and them do the same thing and we are expecting the different outcome. Maybe our MP should be like that little guy who just called a while ago who really was going to cry when he heard of another colleague or a friend. Or we must be promoting a new brand of forward-thinking Jamaican who will put Jamaica above their political party and above their own personal selfish gain. Jeffrey Tavares. It is time that we don't just listen to the talk, but we show the manifestation of an empowered set of Jamaicans that is prepared to fight for the heart and soul of this country. And we don't care who is in power, as long as you're not doing right by the people of Jamaica. You got to go. You got to pack your bag and go.
My good friend Luke George Cooke, I want to say thank you for coming on. I want to say thanks to Senator Gabriela Morris for coming on, one of Jamaica's youngest senator who has this country injured at heart. Luke George Cooke, human rights activist who continue to speak truth to power. My friend, thank you so much, my brother.
Yeah, man, always a pleasure to be here with you and your listeners, Jeffrey. Long time I not see you, you feel like a stranger.
Look, don't go anywhere. We're going to talk off here. Don't go anywhere. Hold on. Let me play something here before we go.
But I tell you this, we're not going to stand by and say those who are corrupt go unpunished. We expect arrests to be made. Low officials forget arrests. Connected party people forget arrest. We expect the police to do their job. We expect transparency. We expect accountability. And we will not rest until justice is done by the people of Jamaica.
And we're going to play one of Jamaica's finest senator. A young lady who continued to speak truth to power. A young lady who speaks with passion for her people. Senator Gabriela Morris. Here we go.
Comrades, are you ready? Comrades, we say it over and over again that young people are the future. But the way young people are being treated in this country at this time has to change. It must change. Time come, comrades, for young people to live good in this country. Comrades, we can look around us and we see the state of hopelessness that many of our young people are in. We see that many of them are choosing chopping over education. We see that many of them are being gunned down and are gunning down people. We see that many of them, they can't afford the school fee, so them just stay at home. We see them are being choked by the high cost that they have to be paying back to SLB. And many of our young people in this country are feeling hopeless. But comrades, I'm here to tell you today that there is hope. There is hope, and it resides within the People's National Party. The PNP has always stood with young people. We stood with young people when Manley gave them free education. We stood with young people when PJ Patterson gave us path and modernized our trust. We stood with young people when Portia Simpson Miller gave us the Sports Development Foundation so young people can advance in sports. And comrades, so it was in the beginning, so it shall be in the end. Time come, comrades, and under our leader, Mark Jefferson Golding, we are ready, we are prepared to bring policies for the young. Comrades, are you ready? Comrades, we say it over and over again that young people are the future. But the way young people are being treated in this country at this time has to change. It must change. Time come, comrades, for young people to live good in this country. Comrades, we can look around us and we see the state of hopelessness that many of our young people are in. We see that many of them are choosing chopping over education. We see that many of them are being gunned down and are gunning down people. We see that many of them, they can't afford the school fee, so them just stay at home. We see that many of them are being choked by the high cost that they have to be paying back to SLB. And many of our young people in this country are feeling hopeless. But comrades, I'm here to tell you today that there is hope. There is hope, and it resides within the People's National Party. The PNP has always stood with young people. We stood with young people when Manley gave them free education. We stood with young people when PJ Patterson gave us path and modernized our trust. We stood with young people when Portia Simpson Miller gave us the Sports Development Foundation so young people can advance in sports. And comrades, so it was in the beginning, so it shall be in the end. Time come, comrades, and under our...
This is where we say so long for tonight until you hear our voice again. I am Jeffrey Tavares saying thank you all very much for being a part of this program. Thank you all very much for coming on. May God bless you. And may God continue to bless Jamaica land we love. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Have a great night, everyone. See you all tomorrow, God's willing.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, Don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people. Make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.